you want to stop living with that constant background noise of, am I doing enough? Am I where I should be? And actually feel free to walk your own path, there's something important you need to understand about perfectionism. Because the problem isn't simply that you compare yourself to other people. Perfectionism is actually driving the comparison. And that's what I want to talk about in this video. Something I have lived with my whole life. And when you start transforming the perfectionism underneath it, comparison starts to lose its power over you. I hate traffic. I use Waze wherever I go to make sure I avoid traffic. I use all kinds of different apps to make sure I am getting to the place I need to be as fast as I can. And a lot of times it works great. But sometimes I find myself constantly being rerouted on side streets that end up not saving me any amount of time whatsoever. Now, can you imagine, right, your life? Imagine you got your own destination plugged into your GPS and you start driving and you know where you're going. But then you notice the car next to you. And here's the thing about that car. You can't see their destination. Nobody drives around with a GPS mounted on the outside of their car. You can see they're moving. You can see they look pretty sure of themselves, like they know where they want to go. But that's all we can see from where we're at. So you fill in the rest with perfectionism, making up all the details about what might be going on in their life. Their business is doing better than yours. I can do that one all the time. They seem more certain about what they're doing, where they're going. They're way more certain than I've ever felt in the last few years. You don't actually know where they're going. You just decided it must be ahead of you. And perfectionism says, see, that's where you should be. So you change your destination. You start heading that way. Then another car. This one looks even better than the last one. No, maybe that's where we should be going. Recalculating. Another one, recalculating. Another one, recalculating. And here's the part that should bother you and me. You've been driving this whole time. Hours of it. See, you're not lazy. You're not stalled. You got the miles on you. You just haven't arrived anywhere. Now here's what I'm not saying. That car next to you isn't going somewhere wrong. Their destination might be exactly right for them. You just never actually saw it. You don't know where their destination is. Perfectionism, boy, it creates this idea that there is a correct or a right way you should go. There is somewhere that you and I should be by now. We should have been there by now. I should have achieved that. I should have already been there. There's a destination you should reach. And comparison gives perfectionism a real easy way to find that destination. You can see someone else who has something you think you should have. And your brain and my brain says, there they are. So you should be there too. And now their destination has become your destination. And then something really important happens. You don't just feel behind. You start changing yourself. You start changing what you're doing. You start changing what you're pursuing. You start asking some questions. You ask, maybe I should do what they're doing. Maybe I should be further along. Maybe I should become more like them. Maybe that's the answer. And that's where comparison can pull you and I away from our own path. Because you're not actually living their life. I'm not living their life. You and I both, we all have different values. We all got different strengths, different perspectives, different circumstances we've experienced, different desires, different things you and I are here to do. So this isn't about saying never compare yourself to anyone, because looking at someone else's success can actually be quite useful. I've looked at many people's lives because it inspires me. So you might get inspired by looking at someone else's life. You might learn something. You might think, if they can do it, well, then maybe it's possible for me to do it. But that's very, very different than they're there, therefore I should be there. That's the perfectionism. That's the piece we want to transform. The thing that sits below the comparison for us perfectionists. So when you notice yourself comparing, start listening for the should underneath it. I should be like them. I should be further along. I should be doing what they're doing. My life has been ruled by the shoulds for so many years. And when you hear that, stop for a second and ask, is this actually my destination? Or am I letting someone else's destination determine mine? Because your goal isn't to become the person who's furthest ahead on somebody else's route. Your goal is to get clear about your destination and learn to trust your path. That's the work that I love to do, and the work I constantly do on myself. And here's a practice that might help you recalibrate your GPS. Here's a practical exercise that you can do to start trying to maybe figure this out. Is just take out a piece of paper and write down all the major areas of your life. Your family, write that, make a circle around it. Your friends and relationships, your health, your wealth, your finances, your work, your career, your purpose. Write all these things down all over this paper. Whatever other areas matter to you, just name them and write them down. And then for each area, write down the destination you believe you're supposed to reach. And try to get really specific. Maybe it's, I should retire by 55. Maybe it's, I should own my own house by 33. I should become the VP of sales by 46. I should be making this much money by this date. Write all those destinations down. And if there's more for the area than just one, write them all out. Then we're going to look underneath them. So for each then destination you write out, ask yourself, what makes this destination the destination I think I should reach? Where did that idea come from that this is the destination I should be trying to get to? Who am I comparing myself to? And then this is the really important one. What does perfectionism tell me about myself? If I don't reach this destination, what's perfectionism going to say? Because that starts showing you the GPS programming underneath the goal. And then ask, is this actually something I want? Or is it something you've learned you should want? I have a lot of those in my life. Is this actually your destination? Or did somebody else's life become your GPS? And then you get to recalibrate. Ask yourself, if I stopped using other people's lives as my GPS, where would I actually want to go? And write that destination down. And I want to make one thing super clear. Your destination, it doesn't have to be impressive. It doesn't have to make sense to everybody else. Mine doesn't. It doesn't even have to look particularly ambitious. It just has to be yours. Because this isn't about finding the perfect destination. It's about transforming the perfectionism that's been telling you there is one right destination. And then noticing when comparison is programming your GPS and getting clear about the difference between where other people are going and where you actually want to go. That's what gives you the freedom to finally walk your own path. And so if this is helpful, you like this stuff, if you want a free worksheet to help you recalibrate your GPS, outlining those questions that we walk through, there should be a link in the description somewhere, and click on that and there's a free PDF worksheet that you can get a hold of and see if it helps. Okay, until next time.